It was a terrifying morning for one D.C. mother. She and her two children were asleep at home when suddenly her front door was forcibly opened and she was forced outside at gunpoint. Chief investigative reporter Emily Miller is telling the story first on Fox 5. Emily.
Well, it wasn't a criminal who broke into this family's home this morning with guns. It was the U.S. Marshals who broke down her front door with a crowbar, dragged this mom and her two kids outside, and the Marshals had the wrong apartment.
This is just devastating to me, to my children.
At 6:30 this morning in this southeast apartment, Hannah and her children were woken up by a knocking at the front door.
My daughter went to the peephole. They had the finger over the peephole so we couldn't identify who they were.
Hannah said they yelled that they were police and opened the door, but she couldn't see them, and she hadn't called the police.
They just knocked down the door. We didn't have on any clothes. I was completely naked. My daughter didn't have on any clothes. They started screaming, telling everybody to get out the house.
Hannah said they used this crowbar to break the lock. Then about 8 U.S. Marshals burst into her apartment.
They dragged me and my daughter out the house. All I could grab was a sheet and wrap it around myself. And when they pulled us out, I'm like, what's going on? My son is in there.
Hannah, who is 32 and a nursing assistant, begged them not to hurt her son.
And then my little boy, my 4-year-old, came walking out and they screamed at me to call him to us. And I was just like, please don't shoot my son with all this stuff that's going on.
Finally, the lead agent realized something had gone wrong.
Finally, the lady goes, isn't this apartment 203? And me and my daughter was like, no. So then she goes, oh, we have the wrong house.
Hannah and her kids live in apartment 201, which is clearly marked on the door. The Marshals were after this man, who they won't identify, who was home the whole time in apartment 203.
So we're standing on the balcony, outside with no clothes on, shaking, crying, scared. Guns have been pointed at us from the time we wake up, and they had the wrong house.
Well, we've been trying all day to get a response from the U.S. Marshals about what happened this morning. And we finally got a long email statement just recently. The key part here, while serving both a search warrant and an arrest warrant for a fugitive wanted for first and second degree sexual abuse, the U.S. Marshal Task Force members mistakenly breached the door of a neighboring apartment. They also said, and you can read this whole statement on our website, they also said that they fixed Hannah's door lock before leaving. Well, less than 12 hours later, Hannah and I were just texting, and she said she's still just so traumatized by what happened and still afraid and nervous and keeps thinking, what if her son had gotten shot in this? So if you think about this, if a criminal had broken into Hannah's house this morning, grabbed her and her children at gunpoint, he would be in jail. But who's going to police the U.S. Marshals? They are the federal government.